G'day everyone. How are we doing? It's sorry about the lighting. It's a bit sort of spooky right now. Oh, and I won't be too long on this because it's hot as hell here in Sydney. Very humid day. The southeasterly change has just come in, and looking forward to a good night's sleep. To be honest, last night was a bit muggy for me. So, look, this particular session, and g'day to all of you. This particular session is really structured around the prospect of profit taking. Um, and look, there's nothing wrong with taking a profit. I know that the crypto community is all about hodl, 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 and we're there forever and yada, 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 all that sort of stuff. And I'm cool with that. Like there are, I do hold a wedge, but there's also got to be some thought process around taking profits after what I would make the rough assumption that many of you that follow me and are watching this have had a pretty good period of time in the markets, whether it be trading or investing, or trading and investing, hopefully the latter. So just want to have a look and give some perspective around some of the things that I think are worthwhile considering, and how you might want to have a conversation with yourself about taking a little bit of profit or a lot of profit. That's up to you. So now that we're involved and we're here and I'm melting, I want to look at Bitcoin itself, and I'm going to focus on the higher time frames here. Now, of course, we've had a higher low, and then we pushed up, and we've had a very strong run since then. And to give a bit more perspective, I'm sort of saying that the bull run started. I'm going to start at the bottom of this candle here, where that cradle was, to the top, and we're looking at 5x on Bitcoin, which is a lot. It is a huge amount, and anyone who's held Bitcoin throughout that period has done a 5x from that point in time. Now, when I look at this chart, obviously there was that weekly pullback that occurred a few weeks back now, but if you consider from the low where it pulled back to roughly around the high, we've done 100%. So 28,000 to where we are now, or where the high was at 58.5 or whatever that was roughly. It's time to consider your options. And I look at my investment portfolio the same way that I look at my trades, which is, if a trade takes off and goes absolutely nuts, and there's no place to move a stop, no place to really or realistically, trail that stop up to lock in profit, you've got to start to think about what's the best worst case scenario for you. And it is you. It's not me, it's you. So I want to give a little bit of insight into how that internal dialogue may go, and how one might navigate that, somewhat complex at times conversation that we have with ourselves. Because realistically, Bitcoin is overextended. We've got 100% since the last pullback, and it's been since the low 1 week, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 weeks. Today, obviously, only starting today. This week only starting today. So it's a really important thing that we understand the dynamics of a market. And the last thing that I want for anybody who watches my content, follows me, trades with me, whatever it may be, is for you to be left like many were after the 2017 run, which is many didn't take profits and ended up going, damn, my portfolio is here and now it's here. And, it's hard to take. And as traders, we need to keep our, mental state in a good place. And to do that, often the best thing to do is to take some money off the table and just reward yourself, or sit it in Tether, or sit it in the bank, or whatever you consider to be the right opportunity for you given your circumstances. So the weekly's overextended, and I'll run through these next 10 right now to show you a bit of perspective that I'm taking. Ethereum also extended from that weekly moving average. And the last time that we were in there, let's go from that little break, that little resistance level. It's gone and done 227%. So a very large gain on Ethereum. Now, for Ethereum to pull back to 1200 would not be out of the ordinary. I mean, that is our weekly cradle zone. We saw it push up through here and then it pulled back, much the same as Bitcoin, and then since then it's really pushed hard. So Ethereum is extended. XRP has been pretty messy, to be honest. It doesn't give too much clarity at this stage. Bitcoin Cash pulled back, retested the old resistance there, which is much more clearly seen on the daily through here, and since then has run hard. Now, again, it's not run as hard as some of the others, but 2 weeks back we're looking at 61% gain. Again, there is room for a pullback. DOT, massive move. Is there room for a pullback on the weekly? Absolutely, yes there is. Litecoin, slow to start, but when it did start, it pulled back and has raced on quite significantly since then. Is there room for Litecoin to pull back at this stage? Well, yeah. Binance, I mean, gee whiz, look at that. I mean, we went 54%, 99%. Don't forget these percentages are as the price has also increased. And then last week we closed up 116%. It's extended. Whatever they're doing, it is going great, but it is extended. Now, I know a lot of the stuff that's going on with Binance right now, but the fact of the matter is that it is extended and it could pull back. So again, out of the top 10, this is where I do a lot of my analysis for my investments. There's plenty of room for it to pull back. Cardano, same thing. We were up 91, 27, 30%, pull back a little bit. Is there room for Cardano to pull back? Absolutely, yes there is. Link, is there room? Absolutely, yes there is. And Stellar, is there room? Absolutely, yes there is. So as a market collective, looking at the entire market, is there room to pull back? Well, across the top 10, which encapsulates most of, or a huge percentage of cryptocurrency market capitalization, yes, the answer is there is room to pull back. So how do we go about managing our emotions, managing our gains, and managing ourselves to keep our psychology in the right place? One of the things that you can do, and I think it's really important to do, is a bit of an audit on self. So when I say the best worst case scenario, if I'm holding Bitcoin and it does pull back to say 38,000 from where it is here, if I was to sell 10% of my holdings of Bitcoin, for example, just as an example, am I comfortable to ride that down and have a bigger picture philosophy that we will move higher over time? But that 10% might just be cash in the bank that might make my life a little bit easier, might get me something of a gift or a holiday or a car, or just pay off some of your mortgage, or just make life a little bit easier. What if you sold 10% and then it races on to 75,000? How will that make you feel? What if you sold nothing and this is the top and it pulls all the way back to say 10,000? How will that make you feel? You need to slice up some of the potential scenarios to help you to understand, or help you to get a bit of a grasp, and the main word is perspective, on what you think will make you the least affected in dollar-wise and your psychology. Now, I have been taking some profits along the way with this bull run, and that's because I had some fantastic trades, and it's just 3 years of a lot of us have been through the 3 years of bear market. It's felt good to reward oneself for hanging in there and doing the work and learning to trade and trading the market and investing wisely and all of these different areas that we can make money. And it has felt good. Now, I am a big, how do I say this? I'm very bullish on the market itself. I'm very bullish on blockchain. I'm very bullish on cryptocurrency, digital assets. This is my full-time thing. And I do think we've got, huge potential in this market. But in the same respect, I also know that given the growth that my portfolio personally has seen, I do take a little bit off the table here and there. Not a lot, but I do take some off just to make life a little bit more rosy a little bit easier and to manage that psychological state. And today, when I went through my scan this morning on live trading floor with my members, I did start to think to myself, do I have too much exposure? And here's what I did. I looked at the weekly. Of course, it is it's got a long way to come if it was to do that. I looked at the daily and went, well, yeah, we could certainly pull back in a 50, 48, 49, thereabouts. But I don't see any real large signs yet of any strong weakness. Now, if we pulled back into the cradle zone here, I would look at that as a trade if I got a bullish candle. But in the same respect, I'm looking at my investment portfolio in the sense that, geez, there's quite a bit there. I've got to start to consider diversifying. When I say diversify, I'm thinking of things like buying an investment property, these types of things, because I was through the 2017 boom and bust, and I did take profits along the way. Look, you can always take more, right? But I was comfortable with the way that I managed that portfolio because I saw I believe in this space. I really, truly do. And I see there being far greater potential, especially when it comes to Bitcoin. When it comes to your alts, if you've had something that's done a 10x or something like that, then really consider your options around that, because well, maybe you don't know, the alts tend to get hit a lot harder than, say, Bitcoin does. So this whole video has been around just, I guess, planting some seeds, not of doubt, not at all, planting some seeds of profit taking for you to consider. Now, you might go through this and watch this and ask yourself the questions and go, you know what, no, I'm cool, cash flow's fine, work's going good, business is good, I'm pretty comfortable, I'm happy to look for more upside. And that's fine, it's your decision. You might also go, well, geez, yeah, actually, if I was to pull, a certain percentage out of my account, it would certainly make my life a bit easier. I want you to challenge yourself. I want you to think about what options that you have available to you right now. And this is certainly not me saying I think we've reached the top. That's not what this is about. It's about starting to plant the seeds of opportunity for you as an individual. I mean you, to work out if you feel as though you might be too weighted towards cryptocurrency, or even if not that, if you just want to take some profit to look after yourself, your family, do whatever you need to do, then I want you to start thinking about that. It's really important to do that. That's the only way we find ourselves not putting ourselves in the 2017-18 scenario where we were on paper with that much, and then afterwards we had that much. Don't let it hurt you. Consider your options, think it through, and take the action that you need to take. Guys, that's it from me. I am very hot in here. The second I close my office door, it is like a sauna today. I hope you're well. You've got the 25th of this month to take advantage of some serious discounts on our courses and subscriptions. Have a great night. Speak to you soon.